Most people don't rap no more. Most people ain't even trying to spit. They don't try to spit. They getting by. Everybody is getting by being fraudulent. Everybody's getting by being half-assed. Do you know how many times I think to myself, why did I just rewrite this verse? When everything on the radio is a bunch of whack verses. The world makes it okay now. You don't even have to be an MC anymore. Like, that's what's crazy.
People don't make albums anymore. They don't make albums. They just try to sell a bunch of little quick singles, and they burn out, and they put out a new one, and they burn out, and they put out a new one. People don't even listen to a body of work anymore.
Hello you guys, it is Mari back for another video, and like I always say, don't be scared to fall because you may fall into a better situation. I like to feel like I'm a part of that better situation. You're already here, so you might as well subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. A part of being a pretty introvert, I oftentimes find myself jumping into multiple loopholes. But today I just want to talk about but why the industry does not like Nicki Minaj. I think when this conversation is normally had, it's viewed through the lens of popular opinions and just people just not knowing the ins and outs of the industry and why Nicki Minaj is specifically a target. I think it's also very crucial that us as people separate personality and the persona of Nicki Minaj from the business of Nicki Minaj. I can see through her opinions and maybe some of her tweets and see why she's upset. But a lot of people don't want to dig that deep because they just really like to go along with the narrative that Nicki Minaj is angry. Why does the industry hate Nicki Minaj? We've had tons of artists say that it was just Nicki for a long time, which is why people give so much credit to Cardi B for being the female pioneer of the new generation of female hip-hop. But what people fail to realize is the industry was the one at fault for this, not specifically Nicki Minaj. The industry never saw value in female rappers before Nicki Minaj was about. The only female pioneers that we had during the reign of Nicki, when it was just Nicki, we had a few other artists like Dej Loaf and we had Iggy. But because Nicki Minaj was kind of the pioneer and was so big, a lot of the female artists that were able to create a lane for themselves while Nicki was doing her thing don't get the credit. It's really not Nicki Minaj's fault that the industry didn't see any value in female rappers. It's been clear to me since day one that labels want a Nicki Minaj because they want to get that success because of the return in investment. Nicki Minaj makes a lot of money, and that is one of the reasons why the industry does not like her, because they don't get a piece of the pie. I don't like that the industry wanted to pin that to Nicki Minaj when it was never really her fault. I feel like that's very inconsistent. People who have animosity towards Nicki Minaj because of this reason simply just wanted to be mad at Nicki Minaj just because. That narrative helps them continue to have a reason to be upset with Nicki Minaj. You can either stay on the surface or you can understand why the industry doesn't like Nicki Minaj and why this narrative helps the industry. The industry doesn't want to help Nicki Minaj because they don't benefit from it. And on top of the fact that this is a female artist, this is a black woman. We're not even going to talk about how racism plays a part in this, but just think about that for a minute instead of staying on the surface of your animosity and the narratives that you want to carry out. So now, let's talk about why they didn't push female rappers in the first place. Nicki Minaj specifically curated her fans from social media and locally by small promotions and gigs. She became a female so popular, before fame even struck her, she had a huge demand. That is exactly what labels were looking for at the time and even now in female rappers. A demand for their presence in this industry. And because a lot of female rappers didn't have that, the labels didn't see a need in pushing female rappers into the forefront. And they didn't think that it was valuable to push another female rapper onto the scene while Nicki Minaj was out. And that was not Nicki Minaj's fault. Everybody else felt like they couldn't do their thing. But that is wrong. Iggy was doing her thing. Dej Loaf was doing her thing. The same way these female rappers are existing now while Nicki is doing her thing, they were able to exist then. The difference is the industry didn't think that female rappers were valuable, so they didn't push them or they didn't put money into female rappers. But also too, a lot of female rappers don't know their worth and they don't push themselves enough to be as valuable as Nicki Minaj and be as in demand as Nicki Minaj was during this time.
I like Nicki Minaj. I just feel like, where's everybody else at? And why are the labels not putting money behind them? Why is my question. What's the problem? You know what I mean? Because that's what the industry is missing, the female MC. So I don't understand what the problem is. Like, Eve got lyrics, Trina got lyrics. I haven't heard Kim in a minute, but Kim is Kim. Kim got lyrics. I don't know if Foxy's still doing a thing, but I heard she got some mixtapes out. Like, where is everybody? MC Light definitely still doing her thing, but right now, because the industry's so messed up, she's doing like radio and she's a president of some company now. But I just think that's missing, that female MCs are missing. And I love when Nicki Minaj is doing this. Almost like she opening doors for us again, and I appreciate that. It ain't enough female MCs for us to hate on each other. I hate that. Like, don't do that. Because the few we got, you're going to eliminate them. And then we're going to be back to square one. So I applaud Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj has been quoted saying that she may tell a joke, but she will never tell a lie. And that still reigns true even until today.
First of all, I gotta say this. I am from an era that was hungry. Like, really hungry. Like, you know, when I was selling my mixtape out my car, I was really selling my mixtape out my car. I feel like artists right now, they putting out a single and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm a hot MC in the game. And to me, it's corny. You supposed to be honored when people ask you to get on their album. You might never get that opportunity again, ever. So, let me say this. Reason why Nicki Minaj came out of nowhere and slaughtered is because when people called me, I got in that studio and I sent the verse back in 24 hours. In 24 hours. That's what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I had LASIK eye surgery when Rihanna called me. I got the verse done in 24 hours with patch on my eye.
And Nicki wasn't even at the height of her career when she made this statement or made this interview. So what does that tell you? This has been something that has been going on for a long time, and whether you know it, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It's up to you as a person, as a consumer, to not be manipulated by numbers. We have to realize as consumers that they are marketing to us, for us to give them our time and our attention and also our money so that they can make more money than we give them. The intent of a business is to sell. You have to be mindful of that as an artist, as a person, and as a consumer of music. They're okay with tons and tons of people losing their job, having bad reputations, as long as it doesn't affect the overall business and it doesn't affect their pockets. I feel like the first time the general public just kind of eye up at Nicki Minaj was when she went pop. Nicki Minaj was kind of the first female rapper to kind of go pop, and she received the same criticism that Doja Cat experienced, and I think that speaks a lot of volume. It definitely tainted her career, like people before her, where tabloids definitely shaped the narrative for the general public, and it does hurt the brand. She was disowned as a rapper in this male-dominated space, similar to what versatile female artists have to endure. It almost feels like you can't be versatile if you want to be considered a rapper, or maybe that's just a female rapper thing. But considering who issued Nicki Minaj onto the scene, Lil Wayne, who was also dealing with his disagreements with Birdman on his rights to his music and also compensation, I'm not surprised because Nicki Minaj had the right type of person to issue her onto the scene at the height of his career. Lil Wayne was bringing out Drake and Nicki Minaj on his tour without any type of contracts, just out of the genuineness of his heart. And this is what sets him apart from labels today, and even back then. He saw potential in Nicki Minaj, he saw potential in Drake, and he wanted them to be the best artists that they could be. Not the best rappers, but the best artists. He saw potential in her, and he saw the drive that she had. He gave her an opportunity that a lot of female artists and artists in general do not have, to shine some of his light on them, in the same ways that Ice Spice could have done with Cleo. That's how you know that Ice Spice was never a friend of Cleo. And I think that is a big part in why Nicki Minaj is as big as she is. Lil Wayne saw the vision way past just being a female rapper, and that was the perfect thing that Nicki Minaj needed to be who Nicki Minaj is today. But considering who discovered Nicki Minaj, I'm not surprised that she's amounted to so much success. With Lil Wayne being her mentor and telling her all the right things that she needed, and also having a genuine connection with her and seeing her potential, Nicki Minaj was destined for greatness, and he was the perfect person to catapult her into superstar success. Lil Wayne understood thoroughly that you have to be the ultimate artist, you have to be the best artist, not just a rapper. It's okay to please the race and the audience that you come from, but in order to be the ultimate artist, you have to cater to everyone. But also, I won't chunk up her whole legacy to Lil Wayne. She definitely had that demand on her own. She knew her worth when it came to negotiating deals with her label. Because she knew her worth in the beginning and she knew what she brought to the table, she didn't settle for less. She didn't sign a 360 deal. Another reason the industry doesn't like Nicki Minaj is because in 2012, the Grammys received news that Whitney Houston had passed away. Nicki Minaj was scheduled to hit the stage and was going to make history, being the first female rapper to ever grace the stage of the Grammys. She took it upon herself to continue performing, although the Grammys instructed her not to. This making the Grammys a forever enemy of Nicki Minaj to this day. So what exactly is going on with the industry and why do they hate Nicki Minaj? And if you haven't gotten the point already, let's drive this home. The reason why the industry does not like Nicki Minaj is because they don't make money off of her. She does not put a penny in their pocket. She retains the majority of her funds because she is not in a 360 deal, which is the major difference between Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, and other female counterparts. And because she does not make them money, they don't want to help her out in any type of way. They don't want to give her any type of promotion. They don't want to give her any type of radio play because she is not valuable to them. Add on the fact that Nicki Minaj is very outspoken and she's also in a male-dominated space where she can out-rap a lot of these men. That is very intimidating, which is why she has been labeled as difficult to work with. Nicki Minaj in recent years has collaborated with a lot of females, and all of them seem to have backfired on her, which is amazing. But however, it is not her responsibility and it's not something that she has to do. And I think it is very smart for Nicki Minaj to be selective with the female rappers that she worked with. She also needs to see that drive in them, and she also needs to see the potential that Lil Wayne saw in her. She has been ridiculed by an industry that is male dominated and has been told that she is not a rapper. She has went pop. Cardi B opened up the doors for the industry to see that female rappers are valuable and that they can exist under the reign of Nicki Minaj, or even surpass her. But some female rappers just haven't done that. That is not a Nicki Minaj issue. That is a female rapper issue. She's just out here doing her thing, and she's receiving all of the benefits. Why? Because she's hardworking, her talent speaks for itself, and she has a fan base that she curated outside of the industry that can never be taken from her. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. This is definitely something that I love to talk about. Check out some of my other content. I do vlogs, and I do all type of things. We talk about fashion, we get cute, we get glam, you know. Flips imaginary hair. We would love to have you a part of us. One thing we do here is we like to always stay honest and be honest with ourselves. Although you're being honest with yourself, that doesn't mean that we expect perfection. All of us are growing every minute of the day, every second of the day, every hour of the day. We are growing. So honesty does not mean perfection. We welcome everybody. So yeah, I will definitely see you guys in the next video. And don't forget to stay honest. And I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Hey,
Bye.
Told him shoot a shot like his main op. Now I'm falling for him like a raindrop. Done that, run that. Patty, give me the gun back. When he say copy the back, then I'll say